Excellent. All right, welcome everyone to our June Central Committee meeting. Back on Zoom. And for those of you who had issues with last month's meeting staying connected, I will apologize. I know that we kept losing our signal in the event center last month, so there were a lot of issues with that. Looking at our list, aside from our two people who will be speaking tonight, do we have any guests who wish to introduce themselves? If so, please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any hands going up. So with that, since we know her vocal cords are nice and loose, I'm going to ask Supervisor Brown to do the land acknowledgement tonight, as soon as Tom brings it up.
Land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that the Solano County Democratic Central Committee of the Democratic Party sits on the land of the Miwok and Patwin people. We remember their connection, we remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and pray in their traditional homeland. We offer our respect to their elders and the Miwok and Patwin people of the past and present.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate that. As I said, we do have a quorum. I have two people who let me know they will not be here this evening. Lynette Henley, who's excused, as well as Corey Penrose, who's also excused. With that, we'll move on to approval of the minutes and the agenda. Tom, do you have the minutes ready to display?
I don't, did we get them? I know
Yes.
I saw.
He did send them out earlier.
Okay, hold on. I see something for 618 message. Agenda.
I know Paula had a correction that she
Submitted. Sorry. Got him.
All right. Thank you. And Paul, would you just for the record repeat, can you read into the record the correction that you had? If you remember what it was?
Yes, what it is that very first paragraph, Monica Brown swore in the United Dems alternate, Andrea Source.
Okay.
Not Monica's.
All right. Then with that correction, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
So moved.
Okay, Tom moved. Is there a second?
Vernil, second.
All right, moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? If not, can we go ahead and launch the poll?
Yes, Don, actually, I just wanted to make a correction. I was present at that meeting. This is Cassandra.
Okay, you were not marked as present? Okay. Then we'll add that correction as well. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right. We can go ahead and launch the poll then with to approve as corrected. Okay, if everyone voted who's going to vote.
There we go. 100% passed, and there was 20 votes.
Excellent, thank you. Moving on to the agenda, I have one addition under ad hoc committees, or we report from the candidate coordination committee as well as the two that are already listed. And Bridget, with your permission, I'd like to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Judith Schiff, who is Bridget Hunley's mother and passed away this month. Are there any other changes to the agenda? I'm not seeing any hands, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
This is Tiffany. I motion to approve the agenda with the amendments.
Thank you. Is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by Tom. All right. If you launch the poll, all those in favor, please vote as you wish. Whether aye, nay, or abstaining.
All right, we're at a minute.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you, everyone.
passed, and there were 20 votes again.
All right. Moving on to our guest speaker for the evening. We have currently 3 publicly announced Democratic candidates for state Senate, with a 4th candidate who may or may not be in the race. The news seems to change weekly. But with that said, I've invited the candidates to appear throughout the summer. to talk to us about their campaign and answer your questions. And tonight's guest speaker is Roanoke Park Council Member Jackie Elwer. And as with all of our candidates, I'm allotting some extra time. So 5 minutes for a presentation for you to tell us all about your campaign, and then we will allow up to 10 minutes for questions and answers. So if you would, people drop your questions in the chat, and then we'll have our vice chairs, Tiffany and Bernil, alternate in reading them out once that's done. So, Councilmember Elwer, you're on the clock.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me tonight and giving me the chance to introduce myself to you all. My name is Jackie Elward, the labor-rooted and fierce progressive candidate for District Senate 3. When I am committed to be the voice of our democratic values, labor in the state Senate. I am running because as a member of the Roanoke Park City Council, the local issues are really the ones that are critical. I want to take the success that I have learned how to craft to the state level so that the whole district can benefit. As a Roanoke Park City Council member and former mayor, I was successful in addressing homelessness, and my efforts resulted in almost 90% of our largest encampment population go through this transitional and permanent housing. I know that throughout the district, those issues are not different. I am proud to say that the county of Sonoma have copied of our model and is using it right now. As a proud wife of a 20-year Teamster and as a 10-year CSCA member myself, with my year of learning about our movement into fighting for workers, I work on organizing my work place with CTA, the California Teachers Association. Teachers in my school didn't have union representation on site. So I boldly organized the whole thing, knowing that I could lost my job, but the fight sure paid off. And today the teachers have a voice. I also work on a PLA for the IBW workers for the Santa Rosa City School employees. They needed one vote to get them to the unchanged wording of the document to pass. I was that voice. As a mayor, I worked tirelessly to make sure that the EVITP electric vehicle infrastructure get to pass in my city. And also that all the workers that will come, no matter their background, to have a state approved certification for the job. I also stood by the county's largest government workforce in the North Bay when they were fighting for the labor negotiation with the county of Sonoma. And I'm speaking about the SEIU. And I'm proud also to say that I did receive the SEIU endorsement as of today. I got a call. Fighting for the people is what I do. In only a few weeks in this campaign, I received a lot of support and endorsement for Assemblymember Liz Ortega, Teamster 65856, Operation Engineer 3, IBW 551, Letter Courier 183, AU 83, and to cite a few. And throughout the district, and many of our progressive champions have come along because people know that I am the one that can do the job and also they can relate to. We want to make sure that the person that will be in that seat is a friend of our democratic values and labor and will fight for all our brothers and sisters throughout the district. You as a powerful voice of our people and represent the most of our district and throughout the state, we need to ask ourselves, do we want to keep the status quo or have someone that can bring something new and powerful to the table? With me in that seat, you will have that fresh voice. I will fight for any bill that will strengthen workers' rights and make it easier to organize and unionize. I know that our values are the priority for this group.
All right,
With
that's
me,
5 minutes. So let's
Thank
jump
you.
on to our questions.
thank you.
And Renee, you
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
ready.
ask?
Yes.
Question? Right.
There's a question says, what is your plan to help us not have Highway 37 turn into a toll road?
Well, when that bill came up, I was opposed because you know what? The people that will be suffering is not the people on top. It's the normal people that go every day from Vallejo, Benicia to San Francisco, Novato, Maureen to work. The people that are fighting every single day to keep the $30, $100 in their pocket to help the children, they're the one that will be suffering. Trust me, I will stand and fight for that bill to never pass. I will stand to fight that road to not become a toll a road. Like I said, our people will be the one paying the price. And I'm not ready to give up and to let that happen. I already opposed it as a council member, and I will oppose it as a senator.
There's
Okay.
another question. Oh, you got it, Vernell?
What is your position on transit-friendly housing?
My position on transit-friendly housing. I am not, I haven't really given the thought on that particular issue. And that's the reason why I'm also here to learn about the different issues that the district is going through in order to make sure that once I am there, I can represent your voice. Please help me understand the subject and the concern that you have in order for me to fight for you.
Okay, the next question, it says, I appreciate your dedication to workers. What is your plan to repair our climate and to ensure having a thriving planet for future generations? And the second part of that question, and what will you do to decrease greenhouse gas emissions?
Thank you. So I'm gonna go with the first question. As you know, or you might not know, I am from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And over there, we see the devastation of climate change firsthand. And it is my duty to make sure that we implement everything we can to fight climate change. I sit in a Sonoma Clean Power Board, and we have been really fighting on helping cities to move into green gas emission and also join the clean power and the green energy as well. We have bills that we've been working on that is actually right now on the table to help understand and to teach our constituent how to use less gas emission in order to prevent the climate devastation. We see it every day. We have seen it through the fires here in Sonoma in 2017, 2018, 2019. And we have seen how climate change is rapidly moving forward. So my plan is to make sure that we put together bills that will not only prevent people to use more green gas, but also to educate the mass about the importance of taking care of the planet for the future.
Okay, I see a couple of other questions. What would be your plan to fund the public transportation funding gap?
Well, we always have the funding. It's like when you are in the city council, the priority. I will come to you, talk to you, and we come up with the ideas to make sure that when I go there, the funding, the state's funding, when it comes to, they have certain issues that they prioritize, right? And for right now, for us, the need is to make sure that the need of the constituent to be put first. And I will always come to you, sit down with you, talk to you, and hear what you will recommend me to do and bring it back to that seat and create bills that will help. And they might say, well, we don't have enough funding. We know that the funding is there, but the priorities are just what they see. So I will be that voice to making sure I come to you, sit down with you, talk to you, come up with a plan, and go back and execute that plan.
Okay. Are you familiar with the working waterfront? How will you support maritime jobs in this region?
I know that water has been an issue, and I've heard a lot of people telling me that. The way I'm gonna support it, first of all, I sit in the North Bay Job of Justice that deals with farm workers and the farmers, and the need of the to create economical water and ways of preserving the use of the water usage, and also to create a way to supply drinking water for our constituent. And we have the thing that we do here for the Russian River that I will bring to implement into the bigger scale, because it is doable. And I will be working on that to make sure that while the farmers need the water, we also need to make sure that it is balanced enough so that the people get the water, the drinking water, and the farmers also.
Ronell, you're
I
on
was
mute.
muted. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. What steps would you take to provide a living wage and provide a stronger safety net for the disadvantaged?
That has been my life, fighting for the disadvantaged. The step that I'm gonna do is, first of all, we need to right now, the living wage is not, right? We know that the living wage is not, it cannot help anybody. Raising the living wage for the minimum, and that is not even something that, you know, it's to think twice, but for the minimum of $25 an hour, because we know even by raising to that level, it's not gonna help us because the housing is so expensive. I'm gonna make sure that we fight for increasing the living wage to $25 an hour in order to fight for our most, the working class people. And I know that it is something that right now has been on the table in discussion. And trust me, that would be my first thing. I would come in and create and demand and fight for the $25 wage, and also create some programs that will help, especially the kids, the poor kids. Majority are in the Black community and Latino community that will come. Also, our native Indians areas to get access to those programs.
Okay, thank you. What is your position on the tunnel effort to reroute water from Northern California to Southern California?
Well, we do have need of water
You're
here.
not gonna have long to play, okay? Because you have to get to bed. We got to get bath, so you have
I
4 more
think-
minutes, okay?
Well, we interrupted, but we have about 20 seconds left, so this is your last question.
Okay, I kind of got distracted by somebody there, but okay. We need to make sure that as much as they are in need of water over there, the priority will be our district here. We need to make sure that we got enough in order to dispatch whatever we will have. Because water, right now, we are in need in our district with the drought and the need of drinking water. So before giving to anybody the water, I will make sure that our district, our area have what is needed before doing anything.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to answer questions. And I think we will go ahead and forward any questions that you were not able to get to, or they come in later. We will email them to you and ask you to respond so we can share them with our members. And I appreciate you taking the time to join us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. And I will just leave you with this quote before I go. So, do we want to keep the status quo or have someone that can bring something new and powerful on the table? You got the answer. And you know, we need progressive voices to come and speak and fight for our people. And I am your candidate, and thank you for this moment. Hope to hear from you guys soon.
All right, thank you. And as was asked in our chat, if you would put your website and email address in our chat, we would appreciate that. All right, next item we have on our agenda is public comment. This is for guests to the meeting. All comments are limited to 2 minutes. Do we have any guests wishing to make public comment at this time? I do not see any hands up. So public comment opened and closed at 7:29. Moving on to announcements. Do we have any announcements that any one wishes to make, such as potential candidates for public office next spring?
Julia's hand is up, Dawn.
Julia. And you're on mute.
I saw that before I started to talk. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm doing a fundraiser for our very own Cassandra James on Friday night. So if anybody would like to come, I'm going to drop a link in the chat.
All right. And we will certainly look forward to that. Those of you who, especially those of you who live in District 1. Bonnie Hamilton, I see your hands up.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair Lowry. I just want to mention that the same thing that's going on with the school board in Vacaville is also going on at the city council levels with this kind of the same genre of people coming out and speaking against community choice energy, which we have in half the county. We have in in the unincorporated areas of the county. We have it in Benicia, Vallejo, and Fairfield. And we've been working with our climate group to try to get it passed in Vacaville as well as Suisun City, which there has been a number of folks who are, shall I say, they are fringe, very reactionary, right-winged. They're the same people who speak against the pride flag in Vacaville. And they came out and really just took over the chambers in Vacaville. And, you know, the issue that should have passed easily through the council was shot down. And the same thing happened in Suisun City last night. So I just want to bring this to people's attention that this infiltration of these people are not only at the school board level, but they are very present at the city council level, at least in certain cities. So I just wanted to bring that to folks' attention. And yes, it is MCE. I'm not sure what the comments are in the chat, but just to let you know, anyway, any questions? I'm happy to. I've educated myself on this issue very deeply. Steve Federle spoke up last night at Suisun City Council, so did I. But we were the lone voices in a sea of very uneducated, ignorant voices. I hate to say that, but that's the case. Thank you.
All right. Tiffany, you have an announcement?
Not announcement. I was just going to piggyback off of kind of what Bonnie was saying. I just feel like, and I was having this discussion too, I just feel like MCE has not done a really good job of kind of explaining itself. And I would recommend that, you know, if you have a contact or any of us have a contact with them, to have them come speak to you directly in like layman's terms, because once it was explained to me, I know it made better sense. And that's just, you know, me, you know, having the nerve enough to ask them to like break it all the way down to like dummy terms. Like, I need to know what this actually means for somebody like me or my family or people that I interact with on a daily basis. So I will say that.
So may I make a comment through Mr. Chair?
Briefly, yes.
Yeah, so I just want to say that MCE is not allowed to lobby citizens to join. In other words, they are not legally allowed to go to the citizens and talk about what they do unless they're asked. The same thing with a municipality. The municipality has to invite them. They cannot go to the municipality and sell themselves. That is the law. So they are not responsible, or they cannot, quote, educate prior to signing up. So that's a very, you know, people don't understand that. Their role is to educate the council, and the council needs to educate itself as well. And then they do a great job in educating folks after you sign up. But anyway, if people want to talk to me more about it, I'm happy to share offline. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. A little more detailed than our usual announcements. Moving on to our treasurer's report. Erin, you're up. And you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. All right, so I submitted the treasurer's report on 6/25. Tom, do you have a copy of that?
Let me grab it real quick.
Sure.
There we are. Okay, so our federal count shows that we had a beginning balance of $2,685.78 with total credits of $4,444.89. And of course, those credits come from our barbecue income, dues, allocation transfers, and contributions, totaling a grand total of $7,130.67 for our credits. Now, looking at our debits, those disbursements, if you notice, are mostly generally associated with our fundraiser, which was the barbecue fundraiser that we had. And they amassed to $5,061.60, of which we paid, as you can see, various the business services, software fees, technical services, security for the barbecue, tablecloth. The banner that we had was beautiful, Tom, and the programs that we had. And then, of course, our catering was from Chez Soul, and our storage fee that we pay every month. So given the credits that we had, and of course, the disbursements, we came up with an end balance of $2,069.07. In our state account, we had a beginning balance of $6,447.86, with credits totaling $2,610. Again, credits being basically the barbecue income that we got from tickets and associated variances, and then dues, contributions again, coming to $645.21. I'm sorry. This is credits rather, coming to let's see here. Our total credits being $9,057.86. Okay, and then of course the debits again being allocation transfers and then ActBlue, and that came to $645.21 with an ending balance of $8,412.65. So with both accounts, a combined account balance, we had $10,481.72. So are there any questions? I want to say to anyone with any outstanding debits that they may have or expenses that they have, if they would go ahead and submit them, and we can wrap it up. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Monica, it looks like a question.
Through
Monica,
the chair,
your hand-
may I answer? I'm
Yes.
sorry. Okay. Excuse me. I was trying to move the slide and then realized I didn't have access to it. On this, which tells you it's time to go to bed. On the slide, I don't see the amount of money that was received from the art that was sold. Am I missing something?
I think that all of that was combined in the okay, look for all that was combined with our barbecue income. So we have that combined in barbecue income from our credits in federal account and credits in the state account, just depending on what that was.
Okay, so the other question that I have is that, and as I say this, I know that you're new, so please no offense, but it's my understanding that once we make it a federal account, we cannot combine it with the state, if I've got the wording right. So,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, so we don't, they're separate because they're different criteria for the federal account than we have for the state account.
Okay.
However, most of our income goes into our state account, and we have to do allocations transfers into the federal account in order to justify.
Okay.
So there's a certain set of criteria that we must accomplish before we can do that.
Okay, not a problem. I just, yeah, so.
Sure.
Okay. Now
I understand, I get it, because it took me a while to get to.
Yeah, first off, the fact that you came forward, I have no I'm just blessed, right? I mean, we are blessed. Thank you very much for doing it. I just want to make sure, because obviously this is the time where we need to start raising money because we do have a March primary. So
Absolutely.
yeah, no
Absolutely.
problem.
We want to make sure they're in the right pocketbook so that we don't get slammed for.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
All right.
exactly.
Thank you, Monica. Are there any other questions for our treasurer? All right, seeing no hands up, thank you
Okay, thank everyone. Thank
for
you.
your report. And as she said, if you have any outstanding either bills or contributions that need to be submitted, get them in ideally by Friday so that they appear on this report. That we appreciate it. Okay, moving on to our other reports. As your chair, basically we've had a meeting with our region director that I noticed Jeff is here. Welcome, Jeff, person, and with the other chair, some of the other chairs in the region, and we're starting to talk about the various region-wide issues that are going on with that. And other than that, a big chunk of my time was clearing the many bills that we supported last month and getting those letters out. So I thank our very active legislative committee for their hard work on that. And other than that, it was a light month because I'm sure we will talk about the convention later on. Northern Vice Chair, do you have anything to report?
No, I don't.
Okay, Southern Vice Chair, anything to report this month?
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge all of the wonderful Juneteenth festivities that happened around Solano County. Being able to kind of see everybody participate in it at a high level was really great. And so saw a lot of locals and different organizations out. And, you know, maybe next year we could definitely try to have a roaming booth at some of these festivities since they're going to be a big thing. So that's all I have to report for right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our secretary again is out. I don't think he snuck in. So with that, let's move on to our information resource officer. Tom, anything to report this month?
Yes. I do not have it in hand, the invoice for our Nation Builder account, but I did receive this email and I did write back to them to ask for an invoice, but I don't think I'm going to get an invoice until the 24th of July or thereabouts. But I would like to ask the committee as part of my report to pre-approve paying our estimated renewal for our Nation Builder account. It's $336. It will be due on the 25th of July. And I'm hoping I'll get the invoice before then to give to Karen so she can have River City pay it. But I'd like to ask the committee to pre-approve paying this when the invoice does come in.
Should I, that in the form of a motion, Tom?
Yeah.
All right, can I get a second?
Actually, Monica has her hand up.
Oh, I was just going to make the motion, but if you've made it, Tom, I'll just second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All right, do you have a poll ready, Tom?
I will, as soon as I get it finished. Let me just
All right, the motion before us is to pay the renewal once we receive the invoice in an amount not to exceed $350. Please vote.
Going to go ahead and end the poll because it looks like everyone has voted.
Okay.
And it was under-
And
So thanks, everyone.
just to be unanimous, it passed. All right. Parliamentarian, do you have anything to report this month?
Not this month.
All right. Cool. Elected officials reports. Looking at my list. I did see that we received the report from Senator Dodd's office. I did not notice a current report for the congressman. Of course, neither one of them have a representative here. Anything to report from Assemblymember Wilson's office? Hearing none. Moving on then to our supervisor. We had a report submitted by Supervisor Williams. Supervisor Brown, do you have anything to report?
Well, we passed a $1.5 billion budget on Tuesday. And everything is balanced. That's a good thing. And I'm just looking forward to not having a board meeting for an entire month. Just sharing.
Okay. Sounds like a noble goal, perhaps. Moving on to our club reports. Do we have a representative from the Community Democratic Club with us? So would you raise your hand? Okay. Jewish Democratic Club, did you have a report?
I do actually. I am going to be sending something in, guys, to the Central Committee. Forgive me for my tardiness. We did have elections. There has been some minor changes in the lineup. We have a new secretary and an additional new executive board member. So I'll give you guys those updates in a little bit. And in addition to that, we are continuing our discussions about how to move the legislative agenda for JPAC forward. So that's something I look forward to being able to discuss more with you guys later. And in particular, we hope to take an approach to Solano County Central Committee's Legislative Committee and begin vetting some legislation with them.
All right, thank you. I know the Northern Club, Progressive Democrats, and the Revista Club submitted written reports. Thank you all. Is there anything any of you need to add to that report at this time?
Through the chair, this is Carrie Birdseye from the Progressive Dems. I neglected to include in my report our next meeting, which is going to be in our community garden on First Street in Benicia on July 15th, and I'll put the details in the chat. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Is there a representative here from the Sankofa Democratic Club?
Through the chair, Don, I could deliver that report.
All right.
I'm sorry, my phone is buzzing too. There is going to be a restructuring of the organization as far as the executive committee. We will not be going dark next month, and we'll be focusing primarily on that, and we'll be able to get you all some additional information, mostly focusing efforts on the current primary elections, as well as particular pieces of legislation. So as soon as we're finishing with the restructuring, we will bring you all the information. Thank you.
All right, and I would just ask you to pass along to them that once they're done restructuring, just remind them that they are entitled to a club representative, and we would certainly like to see and hear from them on a regular basis. Moving on, Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. Do you have a report for us this month?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Glenn Laval, President of Solano Democratic Workers Alliance. A number of our members have been preparing for advocacy at the e-board, of course, looking at signature issues that we helped to support at the CDP convention. Some of these were resolutions such as the resolution in support of Unionize California, Cal Labor Fed's new initiative to be leading the efforts to unionize and help represent more workers across all sectors, as well as support for a number of other measures, such as, of course, higher minimum wage for healthcare workers and reparations for Black Californians, and as yet other items. We're looking forward to where we get appointments onto some of the standing committees when those are announced. Anyone within our networks being ready, of course, to advocate for the major issues out of this area. Next planned meeting would be a meeting of what would be known as the Solidarity Caucus on 4th Thursday of the month. So that will be July 27th, 6 p.m. Format and location to be determined, but the underlying intent, of course, talked about areas of solidarity and working together between, of course, Democratic Party, labor movement, and other allies. And that would conclude my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Stonewall, is there a report this month?
Yeah, this month Stonewall was proud to represent the LGBTQ community in several different Pride events and Pride proclamations and other things going on. Our next meeting will be the 20th of July, and we will be meeting in person. That the details of where is yet to be finalized, but we will be meeting in person on the 20th of July.
Okay, awesome. Thank you all. And again, United Dems has submitted a written report. Did you have anything that needed to be added to that report?
I was muted. We think that our summer agendas are going to be really light because of vacation. However, we want to take the advantage over the summer to invite some of the major candidates that are running for the Senate. Because we don't think our agenda is going to be really full, we're going to give them a lot more time to talk, and we're going to extend the question and answer time. If they don't use the whole time, they will go a lot. So, well, it's okay. We'll move on. Well, no, I got another thing, but it has nothing to do with the close. That's it for us.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, thanks to everyone who got their report in writing this month. We appreciate that. It's very helpful. Moving on to our committees, fundraising committee. Is there anything to report?
No, Don, I just want to let everyone know that I'm looking for ideas, as they stated earlier. March will be here before we know it, and trying to get candidates into office. So if you have any fundraising ideas, please contact me. That's it, Don.
All right. Certainly would like to encourage you all to submit your ideas, because ordinarily we would be planning our awards dinner for sometime later this year, and it does not have to be the traditional sit-down dinner that it was before. We can do something exciting with that, but we do want to honor our volunteers and make some money at the same time. So if you have great ideas, please get them to Vernil and or Tiffany, and we'll go from there. Okay. Ad hoc committees, legislation committee. Bonnie, you submitted a written report. Do you have an oral report along with that?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to Chair Lowry for sending out, I think it's close to 35 letters in support of our bills. And I thank the members who also took part in creating those letters. In my report, we did not meet in June. I did not have the time to meet personally, but I did include the tentative legislative calendar in the report. And I just want to let folks know, as far as where our bills stand now, I believe 25 of our bills are still active, 9 have not passed. So, you know, they're slowly going to be dwindling down as the legislative session moves forward. And that's where we are at this point. But we will be meeting the third Wednesday of July at 6 p.m. by Zoom. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Outreach Committee.
So
Where are
we were
you?
not,
Julia, do you have a report?
yeah, sorry, we were not able to meet this month. However, our next meeting is going to be July 11th at 9:30 a.m. So if you'd like to join that, go ahead and let me know.
All right. Thank you so much. And candidate coordination, Jeannie, your report?
Candidate coordination?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You were talking about the outreach committee, the club coordination committee?
Yes, that's,
Okay.
you're up.
I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. Only a few clubs have consistently contributed to the SCDCC Connections newsletter. So after consultation with the chair, the decision was made to discontinue the newsletter. I want to thank those who participated and to acknowledge the outstanding work that Nancy Federley did to support this outreach effort. Thank you.
All right. And I also want to thank Jeannie and Nancy Federley both for working on that newsletter over the last few months. I want to thank everyone who contributed. And I want to reiterate to all of our members and all of our clubs that we work better when we're communicating with each other and when we're working together. So I would strongly encourage you all to think about new approaches on how we can best be communicating with each other so that we are doing our best to support each other and all of our clubs and making sure that we're moving forward. 2024 is going to be a very challenging year, I suspect. And that's not counting all the potential special elections between now and then that we may have to deal with to fight back against the party opposite in their unique approach to governance nowadays. So please give us some thought and see how we can foster increased communication among our various clubs and organizations. All right, next up, speaking of special elections, as you all know, the parents group of so-called parents group in Vacaville was able to force a special election that will be held September 12th in trustee area 4. When the filing period closed, there was one Democrat who had filed, and that is David Cullum. And he is with us tonight. He has submitted his questionnaire to us, and that was mailed out earlier. Monica, did you have any instructions that you wanted to give for the endorsement process?
No, when it turned out to be one Democrat, my contention is today we just ask Dave questions. So, you know, rather kind of informal because there is only one Democrat. Maybe kind of remind people that we are the Democratic Central Committee, and that would be the only thing I would add.
Okay. I think that okay, why is this time short not deciding to cooperate?
He should be here because we texted each other.
Oh, he is here.
Okay, got it. Okay, just want to make sure.
He was earlier. I am just making sure that we're having ready to go with it. Tom, your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind folks that Dave did fill out a endorsement questionnaire, and I sent that out around 5 or at 6 or something like that. So if you want to get to know Dave a little more than the questions you asked tonight, there is that is available. And also he has in that his website. So I'm sure, Dave, you probably have a donation link on there. So you can check that document, and it has all the pertinent details as well as a lovely photo of Dave.
All right. I'm going to revert back to our normal timing for this day. So you're being a little shortchanged compared to Jackie. 2 minutes for your opening statement as soon as we have you spotlighted and unmuted. And I know you're here somewhere. Well,
Dave, can you just raise your hand in the chat? That way Don could find you.
well, I found him, but his camera's off and he's muted. So I'm wondering, hopefully he's not wandered away from his desk.
Yeah, I can't spotlight him. Maybe if we yell, Dave!
Did he give us a phone number? If we could
Yeah, somebody text him.
fire him a quick text to remind him that.
I like yelling more.
Give me a
Dave!
second. I'm gonna call him.
Okay.
Dave. Dave.
All right, Dave says he's here.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Are you still muted?
He's showing is muted and camera
Okay,
off on my
Don's
screen.
saying you're showing is muted. Okay, now he's not.
All
Can you
right.
talk? Go ahead, say something, Dave. Where are you? Oh. Okay, he hung up on me. What the? No, just teasing. Okay.
All
Did you
right.
guys find it?
He unmuted himself. And was speaking briefly.
He might have to log back
And
in.
yeah, and Dave has left the building.
Yeah, he
Okay,
might
then.
have to log back in, log out and then come back in. Seems
Dave's
like
not here, man.
Oh, there
There
he
we go.
is. As soon as he's back and live.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now,
Yes.
guys?
Okay.
Oh, I have no idea why that happened, but anyway, I apologize. I kept shouting, I'm here, and yet no one heard me. So
All right.
anyway,
Well, now
thank
that you're ready to go, I'm going to push the button and you've got 2 minutes to present yourself.
all right, thank you. Thank you so much, Don. And thank you everyone for having me this evening. I won't go over the reason for the special election because I believe everyone is pretty well versed in why that's occurring at this point. I'll just say a little bit about myself. I was raised in Vacaville. I've lived in this town since 1967, since I was a little boy, and I've seen a lot of changes. The town was it was under 7,000 people when my family moved here. It's now about 100,000. So that shows you how long I've been in town. I went to Vacaville Public Schools. My kids also attended Vacaville Public Schools. My wife is a recently retired 32-year employee of the Vacaville Unified School District. I served on the board from 2009 to 2014. I served as a board president from December 2013 to December 2014. I've also served on the Measure A Citizens Oversight Committee for the Measure A bond. I've served on the Vacaville Public Education Foundation, the Vacaville Library Commission, and the Downtown Vacaville Improvement District. I currently serve as president of the Solano County Library Advisory Board and as chairman of the Visit Vacaville Board of Directors. I'm a passionate believer in public education. I want to do everything I can to support it. I personally believe that public education is under attack, and we need to do everything we can to support public education and teachers and the concept of a free and fair education for all. And I think that is something that, unfortunately, in recent years has been under attack, and that those efforts seem to be coming home to our area now as well. And that's kind of a frightening prospect. And I want to do what I can to defend what we have going in public education and to give it the resources it needs to continue to flourish. Because one of the things I think that the opponents of public education do is to lobby the legislature to gut and gut and gut, and to the
And
point.
that was your 2-minute warning there. So
Oh, I apologize. So
no worries. We will move on. Do people have questions? If you have questions for Dave, either submit them in the chat or raise your hand. So I'm going to ask the first question. What will you do to promote green space at our school sites?
Well, that's a very good question, because green space is really very important at our school sites. It's an incredibly important thing. It also, unfortunately, has to be balanced with safety and security. And one of the big debates right now is fencing around our school sites. And do we allow use of our school sites during off hours by non-students? And my answer to that is yes, we should, because these playgrounds and large green space areas should be for the entire neighborhood to enjoy. At the same time, when we open those things to everyone, and we've expanded green space and opened it to all, there is a safety and security issue as well. So the last thing I want to do is turn our public schools into prison-like facilities. So it is a balancing act that we have to do to make sure that our kids are safe, and also make sure that there's plenty for the whole neighborhood to enjoy at our school sites in terms of green space and things of that kind. One of the things that kind of disappoints me a little bit is the fact that due to budget cuts in recent years, the district has had to do things like Buckingham, for example, was over in a parking lot next to the bingo hall. They had virtually no green space. And now where they are next to Andrews Park, they have a little bit more, not a whole lot more, but a little bit. And that's a shame. But the district needs to do what it can to ensure green spaces, for sure.
Okay. Tiffany, you had your hand up. Did you want to ask a question or?
No, I was going to read the questions in the chat for you. I was just making you aware of that, Dawn.
Okay.
So we have a question. School boards are under attack by small right-wing groups who are having an outsized effect. What would you do to increase what would you do to counter this? And how would you increase parental participation?
Well, the first thing we do is call it out. I think that's very important. What's going on in Vacaville right now is led by a handful of people, really only 2 that are highly active, and they have stirred the pot in a way and told untruths to the community to get everyone worked up. And so we battle that by not battling those individuals who don't listen to reason and really they have an axe to grind, and they're going to grind it no matter what the facts say. But to talk to the rest of the community and tell them. And so we fight that kind of fight by telling the truth and getting it out there. That's the main tool that we use. And then secondarily, we do something that I am a great admirer of Michael Kitsis as president of the board. And one of the things he does is during business from the floor, when someone makes an outrageous statement from the audience, I see Michael has a very good poker face, and he plays it very well. As any good president would do, he just allows people to speak and then just moves on instead of engaging with individuals like that. Because when you engage with those folks, they've already won. When someone is telling lies, when someone is promoting conspiracy theories, when they're doing crazy things like that, the last thing you should do is engage them personally in the argument, because when you do that, what do they say when you get into a mud wrestling match with a pig? You both get muddy, but the kid likes it. The pig likes it. That's kind of what the attitude that we should have. But in terms of fighting the individual fights relating to everything from the gender identity panic to the book bans and CRT, which of course we're not even teaching, we fight that largely by telling the truth and making sure that the folks that these extremists are trying to bring in are aware of the actual facts, and they don't just hear from that side.
All right. Next we have, will you support a pride proclamation and flying the LGBTQ pride flag at the school district office, if not all schools during Pride Month?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what inclusion is all about. Yeah, no problem at all there.
Okay. Do you support the liberated ethnic studies model, or do you support the state mandated model?
I think well, that's difficult to say, really. Well, I'll back up a little bit here. One of the things that this group that we've just been talking about is really exercised about is what they refer to as critical race theory being taught in our schools, which we do not. Critical race theory is a college level curriculum, which is taught, frankly, mainly in law school. So it's not just a college level curriculum, but a very high college level curriculum. So I think that's ridiculous. We need to dispel them with that notion. In terms of ethnic studies and what the district has developed, and I've seen that. I've seen that curriculum. I think it's a very positive curriculum, and it's a step in the right direction. I think we can do much more. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know the specific differences between those two curriculums that you just mentioned, but I'm happy to study them more and find out more about them and get back to you.
Okay. What are you going to do to address the specific needs of Black and Latino students?
Well, one of the things we do is school districts are filled with data. We love data in the school district, and we take hard looks at data and in everything from basically from disciplinary issues to academic issues to accessibility issues relating to extracurricular activities and this kind of thing. We're always looking to make sure, and we need to continue to make sure, that there's equal access to all programs and all services for everyone. Now, equal access and equal opportunity and equal resources doesn't necessarily equate to equal outcomes because every individual student is different. But when we notice gaps, when we see gaps, when we see achievement gaps, when we see gaps in the demographics of students who are participating in particular extracurriculars or who have access to even things like grants and loans for college. These are things that need to be addressed. And that's something that we need to never rest on our laurels. We need to always take a look at those things and adjust along the way. When we see those gaps, when we identify them, we need to address them. In terms of specific issues that are affecting some of our minority students, I know, for example, there have been issues. It's been under the radar. It hasn't been publicized much, but there have been racial incidents at a couple of our schools. They need to be addressed immediately. And frankly, I think it doesn't bother me that we address them publicly. I know one of the issues is to quote unquote keep these things quiet because you don't want to get anyone upset. Well, if a racial incident is occurring at a school, there's already an upset. There's already something that is unacceptable and not occurring. We need to be public about our reaction to these things. We need to be quick, and we need to be fair, and we need to let everyone know what we are doing. And there definitely needs to be a zero tolerance policy against any racist activity or language in our schools.
All right. I know we're running short on time, so hopefully this question is a fairly straightforward one. Do you support independent charter schools?
No. I will tell you that, and this is going to seem funny, back in 2014, when Kairos when I was on the board and Kairos applied, I voted for that charter, and I voted for that charter for a simple reason. At the time, the state had a very specific mandate, and that kind of boxed in LEAs as regards to the approval or disapproval of charters applicants. A charter could only be denied at that time by the state. The CDE said it could only be denied if it presented an unsound educational program or financially was not viable. Those are the only two things that that would allow a district to disallow a charter applicant. Neither of those applied with Kairos. So I voted, and in fact, the deck was stacked so far in the side of independent charter schools that districts at that time were even required to give over to the charter applicant facilities that were being unused by the district, which is how they got Elm School. Elm School was owned by the district, but not used for any educational purpose by the district at the time. So they literally got to take over Elm School. So a few years after that, the state changed its criteria, and now LEAs have much greater flexibility in determining whether or not to approve a charter. Now, school districts and boards can decide whether or not, in fact, a charter school is a good thing for the community. I feel very strongly that any tax dollars that are given out need to have elected oversight. That doesn't happen with a charter school. A charter school simply gets all the money per student that regular non-charter schools get, but they don't have the same elected oversight. They don't have any elected oversight at all because they appoint their own boards. That is wrong. I'm frankly surprised it hasn't been ruled as unconstitutional. So no, I don't believe in them. I don't support them. I was forced into supporting the last one. Now that the state has loosened those rules, I'm not going to support any further ones. Now, dependent charters are different. Dependent charters are part of the district itself, and the district still has, they're only semi-autonomous, and the district still has presiding authority over dependent charters. But independent charters, no, I do not believe in them.
All right, I think given our time, we're going to have to send you these last two questions via email and have you answer that way. But thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, turn it back over to the body. Does anyone have any discussion that they wish to raise on this, or any motions they wish to make? Monica?
Sorry, I was multitasking and my A's are mega losing right now. Much as I love you, Dave. I move that the Democratic Central Committee endorse Dave for the special election of September 12th.
Okay,
Second. This is Tiffany. I second.
right. It's moved and seconded. And Tom, do we have a poll ready?
Well, just point of order, as the maker of the motion, I just want to say, please, please, please. Thank you.
All right.
That please was for a yes.
John, do I have, sorry to interrupt. Do I have to, I should probably log off at this point. Is that correct?
I suppose we should, in the interest of anyone has any dirt to throw at you, I guess we should have you step aside for a moment.
Thank you. I think that's proper. I don't think I should be here for any discussion that the board has. I just want to say thank you very much for your and everybody.
Dave,
Yes.
I can put you in a waiting room and bring you back if you want.
That will be fine. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I will share, and I think it went out to some of us. I don't know if it was sent to all of us, but was communicated to our secretaries, also the Vacaville teachers, that both of Dave's opponents seem to see trans kids as a problem in our schools. So make of that what you will. As you're considering your vote. Is there any other discussion on this motion? I'm not, and Glenn posted in the chat the support of CLC. Not seeing anything. If we're ready to launch the poll,
Ready.
fire away. And all voting members, please cast your ballot. Aye, nay, or abstain. A majority of members present and voting is required for an endorsement to occur.
Um, so pretty much everyone has already voted. Go ahead and
Okay.
end it.
All right.
And it passes.
And it is unanimous. We can bring, I guess, Dave back in.
He is here.
All right. Well, Dave, it was a hard fought contest, but you had the unanimous endorsement of the Central Committee. And with that, I'm going to encourage every member to do what they can to support Dave in the election that's coming up September 12th. I know that both the Vacaville teachers and Central Labor Council have a fairly robust campaign effort planned, and certainly would encourage all of you to sign up for that. And if you're so inclined as to donate to Dave's campaign, I'm sure he would appreciate your individual contributions. And encourage your friends, neighbors, relatives, coworkers to support Dave as well. Monica, your hand's up.
I would like to go on record, Dave, as endorsing you. You have my permission to use Supervisor Monica Brown, District 2, retired teacher, on any of your lit that you want to go out, or if you verbally want to say it, provided, of course, it's okay with you.
Of course it's okay. Thank you. Thank
And
you
I
all.
will send you a check, because Dave needs to get the money, guys, to get his signs bought. And we're gonna have a discussion, Dave, about, we're gonna talk about that, because the number you want's not big enough. I'm just sharing with you. Okay.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you all. I truly do appreciate your support.
Okay, thank you. And as we've discussed earlier, we have a number of school board vacancies that are coming up. Some that currently exist and others that will be happening very shortly. And there's a very real threat of more of these special elections happening in the months to come. So I would certainly like for us to make a strong showing and not be dealing with this as an ongoing threat. If we can beat them back, perhaps they will learn their lesson and go off to harass other people. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Next item I put on the agenda was 2023 Candidate 101 training. We have offered this training in the past for candidates. The Central Committee has graciously helped sponsor this training. I would like to go ahead and offer that training again later this summer. I am looking at the July-August timeframe, adjusting for the various upcoming events that different clubs are having. So the schedule is to be determined exactly, but probably on the weekends. Again, July and August, doing it through Zoom so that we're only minimal expenditure. But still wanted to put that out there and get anyone's feedback on that, whether they have any questions, objections, concerns. And I would like the support of the Central Committee to have the Central Committee as a sponsor of the event so that we can publicize it. Bonnie. Your hands up, Bonnie. Did you?
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute myself. So I know this is out of order, but I would actually like to make a motion to support this training. I took it myself. It was an excellent experience and well worth the time. So I'm going to make that motion.
Oh, thank you. Is there a second for that?
Second.
Okay. All right, folks, any other discussion on this proposal? Again, I'm not, don't anticipate actually spending money, just asking that we support it and promote it through social media and the like. So, don't see any other hands up. I guess we have a motion on the floor. So if you have a poll ready, please vote. Okay. How are we doing on the voting there, Tom?
So everyone has voted. Motion wins, 1 nay.
All right. Well, thank you all. I appreciate that. Does anyone have any other items of business at this time?
I just have a question. This is Bonnie Hamilton. With everything that's happening in the school board, apparently the law needs to be changed at the state level in order to counteract what's going on. And I was wondering, and I'm going to speak through the chair, maybe to Assembly Member Wilson. I mean, I don't know if they do emergency resolutions, that sort of thing, to change things like this on the fly, but that's just a question I have to you, Mr. Chair, and the group.
The short answer is for something like this is probably highly unlikely that they would do something, because they would have to gut and admit an existing bill and then try to get it through the process with very little time left. However, I do think it's something that we should probably, if we are serious and following the lead of Mary Young and others in asking our members to look at amending that provision of the education code so that it does not, it takes more than 1.5% to force a special election. Something we should probably look at drafting a letter to be sent to both Assemblymember Wilson and Senator Dodd this fall, asking them to introduce a bill in the normal window in the next January. And obviously probably reach out to our fellow central committees and ask them to join us in supporting this cause, because I do think this is going to prove to be a very costly effort as more groups figure out that they can do this and for special elections with a very small group. And I think it's something that needs addressing personally. Monica, I see your hand up.
I would send a letter to CTA because Toby's still the president. I can get it sent to him. But more than that, also to Tony Thurman, because he's got to be upset if we just talk about the money aspect that's being wasted and not going to kids. I would just expand out, because Tony might be able to get somebody to jettison one of their bills and make that bill a spot bill to put this in. That's why I was bringing it forward, and to talk to CTA to bring it forward, because we are not the only ones that this is happening in the California.
That's certainly a valid point. Bonnie, is your hand still up or up again?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment, and this is a particularly important issue now that there are district elections, because it's by district, the number of signatures is so much less than if it were a citywide election. So that is really where the rub is. You know, before district elections, it probably wasn't that easy to do, but it sure is easy now. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments on this? And I would like to suggest that the legislation committee start looking at this in detail and perhaps prepare language for us moving forward in a proposal, perhaps at a future meetings, to take action on asking for legislation on this. All right. Brigitte, do you have anything you wish to announce or have us announce at this meeting?
I'm sorry. I think I let you know about the death of my mom, of course.
And would you like us to share information about that? What is it? The memorial service or that's coming
Yes,
up?
the celebration of life I emailed to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we will send that out. And I would like to ask that the Central Committee supports either sending a floral arrangement or a donation to the charity of the family's choice prior to that celebration. If I can get support for us to do that, I would appreciate it.
I so move. This is Vernell.
A second, Tiffany.
All right, Monica, your hand's up.
I was going to suggest instead of flowers, just a donation to where the family would like. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Okay, I appreciate that. I will certainly ask for feedback on that. And do we want to set a cap on this amount? Does the maker of the motion want to amend to set a limit? Say 75, 100, what have you?
Vernell, are you there?
100. I amend my motion to put a set a cap no more than $100 donation toward the charity of the family's choice.
All right. Is the seconder amenable?
Yes.
Okay. Do we, unless there's discussion, Tom, do we have a poll? Or can you write a poll on the fly for approval?
Yep, finishing up. What exactly, what was the name?
The motion is to approve up to $100 to go to a charity of the family's choice in memory of Judith Schiff.
How do you spell the last name?
SCHIFF, I believe.
That's correct.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it was really nice. The San Francisco Board of Supervisors actually adjourned in her memory yesterday because she ran the San Francisco Community Gardens for about 30 years.
You'd all vote, please. As soon, all those who voted.
Okay, done.
All right,
And the motion passes unanimously.
thank you. And last but certainly not least, our region director, Jeff Critson, do you have a report for us?
Yep, I have a brief report. Regional meeting is coming up because eBoard is in August. I plan on doing my my regional meetings 6 weeks in advance of the meeting. So I already have the dates for the fall and this eBoard. It will be Saturday, June 8th, which is just a week and a half away, from 10 a.m. to noon on Zoom. And I'll be sending out the link later this week. I'll send it out to delegates as well as to the chairs of the committees to send out to their committees. I also want to bring attention to the fact that this is the partisan primary in March. So central committees are going to be on the ballot. Filing opens in Solano on September 29th and closes on December 8th. Also, pre-endorsements are coming up. I'll be offering a training on CADM endorsement process in August. So be looking for an announcement on that. The pre-endorsement conferences will be October 20th and 21st. The districts assigned to which date is still to be announced, so that will be coming out probably in early October. Incumbents are automatically endorsed unless a challenge is filed in a timely manner. So those up for endorsement will require the support of 70% of the voting delegates and club reps at the conference. So for more details about this process, be looking for that training. It should be pretty helpful. All right, that's all that I have.
Thank you. And the date again for the regional meeting is June or July?
The date is June. I'm sorry, July 8th. Thank you for the correction. And also, somebody just sent me a question about the committees. They haven't reached out to me yet. They're supposed to reach out to regional directors before they make appointments. They haven't done that yet. So I have a feeling they're going to skip part of that process and just send the committees out. I don't know when yet. They have not had that conversation with us, unfortunately.
Okay, Monica.
Jeff, is there a way everything that you just said, you could just type it up, send it to Dawn? Because we've got like 4 or 5 million dates, and just FYI for you, and this is being selfish on my end, Saturdays are usually busy for me. I tell you, it's just being selfish on my end. I don't mind Sunday mornings, but that's just me. So
Okay.
just FYI, if you don't see me, I will let you know, but it's because I'm doing the job that I got elected to do, not because I wanted to sleep in, though that is a thought.
Yeah, don't we all wish?
All right, thank you. Unless there's anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn in memory of Judith Schiff. May her memory be a blessing.
Motion to adjourn?
All right, second.
Tiffany, I second.
Okay. All those in favor, feel free to reclaim the rest
Aye.
of your evening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Thank you all.